we are going to continue with the lesson Ashoka the Great. And already I had told you about that the first empire was laid in India by the Mauryan dynasty, and one of the greatest king of the Mauryan dynasty was Ashoka. So we are going to study about the Ashoka the Great, and the books like Arthashastra and Indica gave us the information regarding this period. Then we studied about how Kalinga War occurred, and then after the Kalinga War, seeing the consequences of the Kalinga War, Ashoka, he decided to leave his conquest, give up his conquest, and decided to uh, follow Buddhism. Then he made Ashoka. According to that, one should respect the parents, one should show regard to their servants, and he also advocated to the people that should live in peace and should love each and treat each other like brothers and sisters. He appointed special Mahamatras, officials, as the Dhammamatras for the welfare of the people. He got all the instructions of the Ashoka's Dham written on the rock edicts that we have already studied, and then we saw the example of rock edict on which about description of Kalinga was written, importance of Dham is written, religious tolerance is written. Now today we are going to begin with art and architecture. The Mauryan period is marked by an advanced level of art and architecture. It was greatly influenced by the Buddhist art. The Ashokan pillars, numerous stupas, sculptures, cave residences of ascetic, etc. stand out as fine example of Mauryan art. The tall Ashokan pillars were made out of single stone, which was cut, shaped, and polished. One such pillar was erected at Sarnath in Uttar Pradesh. The top portion of this pillar, called the lion capital. It has four lions standing back to back. It is now the national symbol of India. Another masterpiece of Mauryan art is the Great Stoop at Sanchi. It is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So now you can see we have got from this period so many architecture. Means architecture we have got, buildings we have got, that they made the stupas, they made the sculptures, they made the pillars, and these pillars were made carved out of the single stone. And one such pillar is erected at Sarnath, that is Uttar Pradesh, and the top of the pillar is known as the lion capital. As you can see, this is the lion capital. It has four lions standing back to back, and it is now a national symbol of India. Another masterpiece that is at Sanchi Stupa at Sarnath. This is the it has become the World Heritage Site. Now the next part of ruling the empire means how he ruled the empire. What was the administration of the empire, how it was administered, that we are going to see here. Mauryan administration is considered as one of the best in ancient times. There was political stability which resulted in an era of economic development, social harmony, religious tolerance, spread of knowledge, and progress in the sciences. Patliputra was the capital city, and their capital city was Patliputra. The capital and the surrounding areas were under the control of the central government, with the emperor as the supreme head. He was also the supreme head of the army and the chief justice of the kingdom. He utilized the services of the council of ministers, princes, and officials called Mahamatras to run the administration. The empire was divided into four provinces. There were Tosali in the east, Ujjain in the west, Suvranagari in the south, and Taxila in the north. So the whole empire was there, and they have divided the whole empire into four parts: north, south, east, west, and accordingly they were named. And these provinces were run by the royal princes. Each of the princes, they were given the provinces, though they were under the control of the center, and the center emperor was there. They exercised some autonomy. The emperor collected tribute from the areas between the provinces. They made use of the available resources and exercised control over the roads and rivers. The densely forested regions were the homes of tribals. They functioned independently but paid tribute to the in kind. So, Arthashastra also it tells us that the land revenue was a major source of income for the state. So, they used to collect money, means the tax. Revenue is the tax from the people on land. Like suppose anybody owns land, so they used to collect the tax. So that was the income for the state. Special officials were appointed to collect the tax. All the farmers had to give this certain amount of crops. In the tax, they used to give the crops grown as tax. The people also paid sale tax and water tax. The tax collected enabled the emperor to build a strong empire. The system of justice was well organized. The emperor was strict and gave harsh punishments, so law and order prevailed in the empire. The Mauryan king maintained a large and well-equipped army. There was a developed spy system to keep a watch over the ministers, provincial governors, and other officials. The spies included women also. Then the last topic, that is the decline of the Mauryan Empire. Means why this Mauryan Empire it got declined, and what happened after Ashoka's death in the year 232 BCE. The empire slowly declined. What were the reasons? Because Ashoka's successors, means those who came after Ashoka, means his sons or his grandsons, they were not efficient enough to take care of such a large empire. Second, the control over the distant land slowly declined. Third reason was the Mauryan army, it became weak and inefficient as the state treasury did not have enough funds required for its maintenance. Then the next reason is because of the weak army and inefficient kings, the provincial governors launched revolts and declared themselves independent of the central government. The provincial governors, they declared themselves independent. Due to that, it declined, and this chapter is over. Then around the world, what happened? No need to do this. Important terms you can go through, as we will have soon the oral exams. Only one more chapter is left in your course that we are going to do, that is the last chapter of history, lesson number 12, and after that your syllabus will be over.